Parenting an adolescent is hard, but imagine parenting an adolescent in a new or unfamiliar context, and where the underlying values and traditions might be at odds with those of your own cultural heritage. The focus of our study was on the estimated 17.5 million immigrant parents in the U.S. today who must deal with such complex parenting issues. We targeted parents from Asian and Latino backgrounds who represent the two fastest growing immigrant groups in the U.S. Specifically, our goal was to examine the unique challenges that these parents face in raising their adolescent children and how these challenges might influence their general perceptions of parenting competence, which we defined as the degree to which parents feel capable in their parenting role in general. One of the challenges that immigrant parents must deal with is related to acculturation, which broadly refers to the change that occurs when two or more cultural groups come into contact. Especially in cases when these cultures have different values and traditions, acculturation can introduce diverse forms of parenting stress, uncertainty, and instability, which can strain family dynamics and relationships. And within the family, it's possible and certainly common to experience acculturation conflict or gaps between parents and children, such as when children are more Americanized than are their parents. Such acculturation stress could lead to parents feeling less competent in their parenting roles, yet somewhat surprisingly, no work of which we are aware has directly linked these experiences to parents' feelings of general parenting competence, and this was one of the goals of our study, to establish this possible link. Another challenge for immigrant parents is to negotiate how to adapt and feel connected to the mainstream environment while considering what cultural heritage values to retain and pass on to their children. Although research on ethnic socialization, or the process by which parents teach their children about their ethnicity or ethnic background, has grown, there is no work that targets what we call parents' cultural self-efficacy, or the degree to which parents feel confident in their ability to instill or teach cultural values in their children. So for example, I'm a second-generation Asian American who was raised by two immigrant parents, and I also have two young children of my own. Figuring out what cultural values and practices to transmit to my own children is one thing, but another under-researched issue is how confident I am in my actual ability to communicate these values, either due to my own limited knowledge as a second-generation immigrant or due to the overwhelming influence of the majority culture. And of course, ethnic or cultural values are only one part of the picture. Another dimension is confidence in instilling knowledge and values of the mainstream American society, and yet another dimension is how to instill bicultural values, or both cultural and mainstream values simultaneously. Our work introduces this critical concept of cultural parenting self-efficacy and examines how such feelings of efficacy are related to general parenting competence, in and of itself as well as in conjunction with acculturation conflict. So to examine how acculturation conflict, cultural parenting self-efficacy, and parents' perceptions of general parenting competence are related, we conducted an internet-based questionnaire study. The participants of our study were 58 Asian American and 153 Latin American parents of children in grades 6 to 12. Our participants included fathers and mothers, and the majority of parents were of the second generation, that is, born in the U.S. with at least one immigrant parent of their own. Parents lived in diverse areas of the U.S. and were recruited through Qualtrics Panel, which is an online data collection service. Our analysis of a series of path models provided general support for our hypotheses. For both Latin and Asian American parents, the more parents experienced stress or conflict associated with acculturation, the less competent they felt in their general parenting roles. Also, in the face of acculturation stress, cultural parenting self-efficacy can promote perceptions of parenting competence. For Latino parents, more cultural parenting self-efficacy across all three dimensions of heritage, American, and bicultural values and traditions was associated with more perceived parenting competence. These direct links were not found for Asian American parents, but we did find one interaction, such that the negative association between acculturation conflict and perceptions of parenting competence was weaker for those who felt more efficacious in transmitting heritage messages, suggesting that these Asian American parents' confidence in engaging in heritage cultural socialization can protect them against the negative effect of acculturation conflict. In summary, acculturation conflict and cultural parenting self-efficacy represent critical sources of stress and fortitude for immigrant parents. Our results also emphasize how parenting can be influenced by cultural background, values, and context. There are also many practical implications of our research. Certainly, parenting interventions should be culturally sensitive and tied to real-world experiences. Our findings support the use of coping strategies or cultural resources to lessen the negative effects of acculturation conflict on general parenting competence for both Asian and Latin American families. Helping parents from immigrant backgrounds feel confident and effective in terms of their cultural socialization could constitute one source of resilience and is likely to carry some benefits, although the exact effects might depend on the individual or situation involved.